Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. I am Teeny Crochets and today I'll be showing you how to crochet this beautiful Christmas star. For all the items that you will need, please check the description box below, and other than that, get your crochet hooks at the ready and let's get going. So to make my star, I'm going to be using a 3.5mm hook, and I'm going to be making this star with this grey silver DK yarn. I'm going to be using the grey yarn because I did try to film this with white and the white just wasn't standing up on this background. So you can use whatever colour you want, but I'm going to be using grey in this time. So I'm going to begin with a slip knot onto my hook, and now I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And I'm going to do a slip stitch into the first chain that I made to form a loop, and then chain 1. So for our next round I'm going to do 12 single crochets all into this loop. So 12 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And then to finish this round I'm going to do a slip stitch into the first chain we made. For the next row I'm going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now have a look at the base of our work. I'm going to skip the next stitch, and into the following stitch I'm going to do a single crochet. And I'm going to do that all the way around. So I'm going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then at the base of my work I'm going to skip the next stitch and do a single crochet into the following stitch. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, skip a stitch and single crochet. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip a stitch, single crochet. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip a stitch, single crochet. And then last one, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then do a slip stitch into the first stitch of this round to join. So we have a total of 6 chain 5 loops. So for the next round I'm going to begin by doing a slip stitch into the first of the chain 5 spaces. Now I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and this will count as a double crochet. Into this chain 5 space I'm now going to do 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So with that chain 2 space at the beginning there are 6 double crochets here. I'm now going to do a single crochet into the single crochet space between the 2 chain 5 loops. Now I'm going to do 6 double crochets into the next chain 5. So 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, followed by a single crochet into the chain between the 2 chain 5 spaces, and I'm going to repeat that for the rest of the chain 5s. So I'm going to do 6 double crochets followed by a single crochet between each of the chain 5 spaces all the way around. So now another 6 double crochet. 1, 2, just loosen my yarn, 3, 4, 5 and 6, followed by a single crochet into that center space, 6 double crochets, 1, 4, 5 and 6. Then we're going to end this round with a slip stitch into the first stitch to join. So for the next round, I'm going to begin by slip stitching to the second double crochet of this loop. So if you remember, each of these loops, each of these clusters have 6 double crochets in, and I'm going to start by slip stitching across to the second double crochet of this first cluster. So I'm going to single crochet across the first stitch and into the second. From here I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, which counts as a double crochet. I'm now going to do another double crochet into this same space, so another double crochet. So there are 2 double crochets into this chain, or into this stitch. Next I'm going to do 2 double crochets into each of the next 3 stitches, so 2 double crochets, so 1 and 2 into the first stitch, 1 and 2 into the second stitch, 1 and 2 into the third stitch. Then I'm going to skip the last double crochet of this cluster, and into the stitch between the 2 clusters I'm going to do a single crochet. So that was our first loop. For the next loop and all the others we're going to repeat the same pattern. So I'm going to skip the first double crochet in each cluster, then I'm going to do 2 double crochets into the following 4 stitches, and then I'm going to skip the last double crochet of each cluster. So skip this first stitch, and into the next 4 stitches I'm going to do 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. I'm going to leave or skip that last double crochet and do a single crochet in the stitch between the 2 clusters. And by cluster I mean the loop that's formed. So let's repeat that again. Skip the first double crochet, then do 2 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Skip the last double crochet followed by a single crochet, then repeat that in all of the clusters. Skip the last double crochet and slip stitch into the first stitch of this round to join. Chain 1. I'm going to fasten off with this first colour of yarn because we finished with this now. And this is what you should have so far. Next I'm going to add my contrasting colour, which will be this icy blue. So the first thing I need to do is add the new colour. To do that I'm going to do a slip knot onto my hook, and into the stitch where we fastened off from I'm going to insert my hook. I'm going to yarn over in the new colour and pull up a loop, so there are 2 loops on my hook. Yarn over and pull through both of these loops. So I've done my first single crochet and attach my new colour. And for the next couple of stitches I'm going to hold the 2 yarn tails of the blue and the grey in the back of my work and crochet them in for about 4 stitches, and this is just so I don't have to weave them in at the end. So this pattern repeat we're going to do for all 6 clusters. So I'm going to single crochet across the first 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now I'm going to do 3 picot stitches. So to do that I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and into the first chain that I made, so the 4th chain from hook, I'm going to do a slip stitch. And that's my first picot, and I'm going to do that another 2 times. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then into the first chain that you made I'm going to do a slip stitch. One more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch into that first chain again, So you should have something that looks like this, 3 little bumps. And then I'm going to continue to crochet down the next 4 stitches on this cluster. So just continue to single crochet 4 times. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Next we are at the center space between these 2 clusters, and I'm going to do a spike stitch, and I'm going to do the spike stitch all the way down to the first round that we made. So a spike stitch is an elongated single crochet, and you just have to work these extremely loose so that you don't pull your work too tight. So I'm going to take my crochet hook and I'm going to insert it into that first stitch that we made between the 2 clusters. I'm going to insert it, then I'm going to yarn over with my colour and pull that colour all the way up to where I'm currently working, and then I can finish it off like a normal crochet. So if you see, we've made an elongated stitch, and we're going to do this between all the various sections to section them off. So that was a spike stitch, and we're going to repeat everything we've done around all of these clusters. So single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now we're going to do 3 picot stitches. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch into the first chain, chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3 and 4, slip stitch into the first chain. Slip stitches are my worst stitch, I hate doing them. Then chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch again. Now continue to single crochet for down 4 stitches on the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, do 3 again, 3 and 4, followed by a spike stitch. So an elongated single crochet, and remember to do it nice and loose so you don't scrunch all your work up. Let's do that again. Single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, followed by 3 picot stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch into the first chain. 1, 2, 3 and 4, slip stitch into the first chain. 1, 2, 3 and 4, slip stitch into the first chain, followed by 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by a spike stitch. You can see it coming along, I suppose. Single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 3 picot stitches. Oh gosh. There we go, followed by 4 single crochets again. Followed by a spike stitch. So I'll zoom through these last 2 clusters so you don't hear me just saying the same thing over and over again. And after your last spike stitch, you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch to join, and you can fasten off with this colour. So I'm going to weave in my ends, and the last thing we're going to do is create a loop so we can hang this on our tree. So any of the tails that are already weaved in, we can simply cut But those that aren't, we're going to get our embroidery needle and we're going to weave them in by hand. So all that's left is to put a loop onto our Christmas star. So I've cut a length of contrasting colour, which was the grey colour, the first colour that we used. I'm just going to pull it through one of the tips of the stars and I'm going to tie a slip knot at the top and then cut. And there we go, a nice simple loop for our Christmas stars. And there you have the completed Christmas star. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and other than that, I hope you have a lovely day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.